Boom, baby, we're alive. Welcome to Dude Party. We're finally back. Does success with women matter? We're going to talk about it today with a panel of experts. But before we get going, take a quick look at what we got cooking up on December 28th. My name is Jonathan, and I used to be just like you. I was just an average guy that wanted to date a few nice women so I could find what I liked and just move on with my life. I numbed myself with distractions so I could ease the pain. But in reality, it really never went away. Without any help, it's just not that easy. And even like you, I looked for answers online, but the results were hard to find.
If you sun your balls, there is a study. It's an older...
A 3-pack for $29.95. Famous Bad Boy series Bond 2. Ladies find this pleasing.
You're broke! You're fucking poor!
I didn't want to take sides in some stupid online argument. I wanted results, and after years of failure, I found the one secret thing that changed it all.
Welcome aboard.
After learning this skill, my eyes were open to a whole new secret world that only a few people will ever see. I went from having no confidence to having pure, undeniable proof that I could find women anywhere in the world that were totally into me. So of course, naturally, I became more confident. I went from a confused and lonely guy to a man with so many options that I literally cannot date them all.
See what you just saw? It may look like a commercial, but that is my reality. I see a world that nobody can see through the secrets of understanding body language. Now ask yourself a question. How long are you going to wait and go through those lonely nights, endless rejections, and feeling insignificant until you decide to take action and change your life today? I've been doing this since 2019, and I have thousands of men that have changed their lives from Tokyo to Tampa, from Chicago to Saigon. There's only one name in the game, and that's me, MLD. Join us in the Masculine Empowerment Network, and we'll change your life today.
So stop what you're doing right now. Go to the masculineempowermentnetwork.com and get on the waiting list today for the Body Language Mastery 4.0 course debuting on December 28th. It is only available for you to get for 5 days. After 5 days, I'm locking it up. And in addition to that, you're going to be getting so much more. You're going to get a multiple month membership for the Masculine Empowerment Network, where we'll be giving you Body Language Mastery 4.0. We'll be doing 20 live webinars with experts in money, muscles, game frame, including all the men you see on the screen right now. You'll get access to all of the previous webinars we've done, dating all the way back to 2019, in our 200 plus hours of recorded webinars on our private and secure database. You'll get a Telegram chat as well to join 100 plus men already in there. We'll do 3 end of the month checkup calls on everybody who actually want to make the change in their life and just fix their dating problems once and for all, and direct interaction and mentoring with me, MLD. So you could do all of that and so much more, but you got to make yourself available on the waiting list. If you're feeling lazy, scan that QR code over there right above Offie Kingdom's handsome face, and we'll get you locked and loaded. Welcome back to Dude Party. Guys, thank you so much for being here. It's been a while since we've all been together, but I'm happy that we're back in the drip together. How's it going for everyone?
Good.
Good.
Oh, yeah.
Good. So let's just start it off correctly. I want everybody to just take a moment to introduce themselves to the audience. This is the restarting of Dude Party. And just so you guys know at home, Dude Party is starting up and it's not going anywhere. It is going to be every Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here live on the Modern Life Dating channel, and we're going to continue to build this. And eventually, even viewers like you at home can be members of Dude Party and come on here and talk, because we are talking about solutions. We're talking about helping the guys out who need help, and that's the only thing that I'm interested in. So first, I guess I'll just give you guys the solo layout. John, you want to go ahead and talk about what you do and what you're bringing to the table and your goal with all this?
Yo, I'm Jon Fitch, retired MMA fighter, and I teach people violence. I teach people how to fight, self-defense, MMA, all that stuff, fun stuff. And I teach people, counsel people online also. I do a podcast live stream Sunday nights called Jon Fitch Knows Nothing. I talk a lot about the MMA fights that have happened over the weekend, stuff that's going on, but I also talk about some red pill things and red pill dynamics. For as violent as MMA is, it's a very blue pill saturated environment, especially the viewership in the press corps. You have a lot of people who just do not say what's really going on. So you'll get some red meat behind the curtain type information when I'm talking about the fight stuff. But yeah, man, I'm here to help. I have been a lifelong instructor. I started teaching people how to wrestle when I was in the 7th grade. I went to school for wrestling, but I studied education. So I was going to be a teacher until I decided to start fighting. And then I decided I didn't need to become a teacher because I could just open a gym and teach people without having to report to some higher ups. And I've been teaching and fighting ever since.
Good stuff, man. Quick, give me a TLDR. What are your thoughts on the whole Ian Gary situation?
Oh man, poor kid. Poor kid. He got suckered. But at the same time, she's an idiot, because if she's a gold digger and she tried to gold dig an MMA fighter, she's not very smart. She failed.
Yes, she's
not. She has failed.
He's trying so hard to be Conor McGregor, but it's like, dude, at the end of the day, like, you're running around with a 40-year-old woman, bro. When you're 10, she's in 10 years, you'll be 35 and she's going to be 50.
McGregor's got like 10 kids and a bunch of sexual assaults that aren't gonna go anywhere.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. We're gonna talk about that in the future. Let's go next to my good friend, one of my longest online buddies, who's been with me before even there was a live stream, Mr. Afi Kingdom. Afi, what's up, bro?
What's going on? Good to be on the panel with people who I'm familiar with. Jordan, we'll chop it up. I'll catch your vibe in a minute. I'm an author, published 65 books, world traveler, top mindset coaching, the genius world, and a decent dating coach too. I do YouTube since 2018, so I'm about approaching 6 years, got like 50,000 subs, and I do my thing.
You're a movie star now too. I've seen you in some movies.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But players will always downplay your shit. That's game right there too.
I gotta take a page out of your book. I don't downplay as much as I should. We got a new member here, a veteran of the Masculine Empowerment Network, all the way going back to 2019. You now have your own successful brand. You're doing very well for yourself. Jordan, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I think this is actually my second time on Dude Party. You had me on a couple, like back in maybe May or something. But yeah, I'm Jordan Kurtz. I've been studying hypnosis. I'm a aspiring full-time hypnotist. So I help people with all the inner game issues that John loves to talk about. I grew my business out of his community, out of mentoring from Ryan Fowler. And I just love hypnosis. I love helping guys with this stuff. I think the inner game is so important. It's absolutely changed my life, not only just starting the business, but learning the techniques myself and being able to help myself. So all things hypnosis, that is, I know I like the game and the other stuff, but I find that, as John has said many times on the show, that it all starts in the inner game. Everything is connected from there. So excited to be here. Thanks for having me, John.
Great having you on, buddy. Really, really, really great having you on. Thanks so much for being here. And I think it's super important that we focus on frame. I mean, that's the biggest thing I added to, the core 4 money muscles game. And then I realized frame is probably the most important aspect, because if you don't have that inner world and your boundaries and your self-respect lined up, I mean, you're fattening the calf for a predator. Speaking of predators, last but not least, Apex Mindsets in the house. My great friend, what's up, man?
What's up, man? Good to be here. Good to be here. I'm Paul Benjamin. You can go to apexmindset.net, Apex Mindset or Apex Inner Game on YouTube. I'm a performance psychologist, and I basically help people get perspective on things, see things from a different perspective, and then action things in their life, usually changing their inner game as well as changing their outer game, in the relationship and dating and, sexual dynamic world. Right. So, and that's it, that's it.
Very good. Very good. So, all right. So today's topic is something that I wanted to touch on because it just seems to me that there's a lot of backlash in regards to men just trying to figure this whole dating thing out. So I want to ask, just with the panel in general, okay, what are your thoughts on this? Does success with women matter for the average guy, for the guy out there trying to figure it out? What do you think?
Depends on what that chick is looking for, man.
Mm-hmm.
It really does.
I guess I should define success as, first of all, so success, in my opinion, is having the ability to court a woman and bring her into your life and have her in your frame, and then go about your life plan and having a good, faithful companion with you along the journey.
Right.
So does that matter?
So it does and doesn't. So I'm somebody who developed game before I was successful.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was living after a separation in a relationship living situation. I was basically couch surfing, living out of my car, and that turned into living at different women's houses for a couple of months, and then of course realized that that was more or less protesting everything. And I'm not saying that's a good way to go. I'm not saying follow in my footsteps. I was in a lot of turmoil and for different reasons at the time of my life. But as far as gaming women and making women feel good and making women have a good experience with you and want to call you back, it didn't matter that I was not successful. So that's when your game is dialed in, attracting a woman you don't need to have anything to do that. That said, though, success gives you the freedom to do what you want in life and for you to be on your mental point of origin, which greatly changes the level of success from what, you can have with a woman long term. It's not good for a chick's long-term prospect if I'm living out of a car, unless she makes all the money and I pimp game her in a sense, what I mean? And I'm kind of her stay-at-home, male presence or something like that. That is a thing, by the way, but that's not how I wanted to live my life. And if I wanted the prospect of having freedom to maneuver, do what I want, travel, that's a different type of relationship and a different type of woman I'm going to attract. And so I have, with success now, because now I have success, I would consider it, I have no limits to my options. Now I'm in a long-term relationship. I'm very happy. But she's, I have no limits to the options I have when I'm single because of that. So I had a lot of limits when I was couch surfing. You know what I mean? There's a lot I had to do. And there was, again, only a certain type of woman I was going to attract in the beginning, which would be short-term mating. And, basically she sees me as that alpha guy who's kind of fun. Who's going to show her a good time. Who's going to, bang her out in the bedroom the way she wants, those sorts of things. That's what she's getting from me. You know what I mean? Women are very pragmatic, and they're pragmatic in their search of men and relationships and love and all that crap. And so a woman will see a dude and be like, oh, he's a guy I can have sex with, have fun with him, and basically not call him back after a point because he ruins my chances of long-term success. Or he's a guy I can cheat on my husband or boyfriend or nice guy with, which I was that guy, not intentionally, but it happened a lot because, you know, I didn't have a lot going for me other than the ability to make a chick feel good. Now, there were certain things there. I had to have enough money to buy a drink or wear at least a decent outfit. I couldn't come in looking homeless. You know what I mean? But I didn't have a pot to piss in during a certain part of my life, about a decade or so, you know, a little less than a decade ago, for a period of time. You know what I mean? I was in that zeroed out phase that some guys get into after relationship ends. And so, yeah, it didn't affect my ability to get laid, right? But it's all about what pragmatically that woman wants. If you're a dirtbag who lives in a basement and, you know, deals small time drugs and doesn't have a lot going for you, you're gonna have a
Sleeps on
miserable
the mattress
life.
on the floor.
Yeah, right. You'll have a miserable life, but guess what? There's gonna be some
there.
girl who's gonna sleep with you if you know what you're doing with women. If
If you haven't been able to pull a girl back to your mattress on the floor, do you really have game?
Yeah,
Right?
that's definitely. But some of these girls, you know, you're going to get a lot of girls with maybe lower self-esteem, and that's the lifestyle they have too, you know. But she'll be mid good looking, you know. She's not necessarily going to be disgusting, but or you could have your shit together, but then you need to vet out for quality too in terms of what type of a partner she's going to be. If you have a lot to lose, if you're a millionaire, you got a lot to lose. You can't just have mattress on the floor, bitch, over your, you know, wifing her up and giving her half your shit in a year because she's a train wreck. You know, you have to be more serious about vetting. When you have success, you actually have to, you have more options, but you have to protect yourself a lot more. But
yes, and I wanted to build on that part. So TLDR, yes or no?
No, you know, to get laid, no, but to have the type of relationship you want and the freedom you want, yes. I would say that.
Yeah. So does success with women matter in your opinion?
It matters to a point of what they're trying to get out of it, what you're trying to get out of it. You know what I mean?
Good stuff.
I know it's kind of a gray answer, but a lot of guys think like, oh, I'm going to get all the money and then I'm going to have the women I want. And it's reverse thinking. It's a stupid way of thinking. You're better off dating when you're trying to figure it out and broke and poor. This idea of I'm going to go into monk mode forever. I'm not talking like a couple months to get your shit together, but I'm talking like forever until I get my engineering degree and get my house and get set up to have a family. Then I'm going to date is the stupidest idea you could do because you won't understand women and you won't understand how things work. And you'll have a whole bunch of shit to lose. Yes. Right? Like now you get zeroed out really quickly making bad decisions out there. So you want to be dating when you don't have a lot going on, not because you're going to stay that way, but because now you get to understand how women work and operate. And as you build up wealth and stuff, you'll be educated on women and all that stuff. And then you can have the relationship you want without hurting yourself later.
I 1,000% agree. And I want to tag in Afi on this because I think Afi would build on that as well. Afi, your opinion.
The answers you need.
Does success with women matter? Your opinion?
Shit, absolutely, it's essential. Let me get some pushback on the floor mattress shit. You do have to have game for that. Because that ain't not game. No, you do have to have game for that. Now there are raggedy.
Afi, can you bring your computer closer so the mic is closer because you're coming in a little low?
You hear me?
Yeah. Go ahead, brother.
All right, cool. So, see, that is like a strategy. I was dealing with 6-figure women pretending I was homeless because the whole thing about that is when you understand certain types of women, not all women, but certain types of women, you play on their instincts of wanting to, one, take care of you, and two, that's how you get them to invest fast.
Yeah.
It does take game. So if your purpose, if the woman believes in your purpose, she wants to be a part of the outcome and she will do shit for you, even if your shit ain't got shit together. That's
right.
true.
Yeah, that's true.
The second thing, I feel like being good with women is essential. It's not even you need it. It's cool. No, the reason why is because when you're good with chicks, it gives you the type of confidence you can't buy. It's the same level of confidence if you got a good body. It's the same level of confidence if you got money. It's the same level of confidence if you can kick somebody's fucking ass. So that adds to the other shit. So it's kind of like driving a car. Do you need to know how to drive a car? Yeah, you do. Now, if you want to catch the train and the bus, that's on you, Uber, but you still need to know how to.
Yep.
So that's my take.
Yeah. No, I think that's a great take on it. Jordan, you want to chime in?
Yeah, I was thinking of an example. So I used to be the guy in high school. So I'm 25, just for reference for the audience. And I remember back in high school, I would be the guy who was chasing around girls, I liked this girl so much that I become friends with all of her friends, just at the hope that I might, start dating her. But I think that here's the problem. That's high school. But based on my experience in John's community with men who are much older than me, it seems like guys are so much in trouble that they don't evolve past doing those things that they used to do in high school. They don't have any role models or anyone to show them how to actually properly interact with women. I mean, in the States, so many people experience broken families. So they have very little example of what actually positive female and male interactions even look like. And so, they're not getting it from their parents. They're not getting it from a lot of the relatives because they're also divorced, and they're certainly not getting it from their friends because they're just as clueless. So, and that's kind of where I was at when I was 22, and that's when I joined John's community, was when I was 22. But so your question, does success with women matter? It's like hunger. I think for most guys, it's like it's all they can think about until they get it, and then they don't think about it as much. But there are a huge section of guys, and I know this from the experience of being in Chad's community, being one myself, that are deeply struggling and depressed and kind of struggling in silence because they can't get women at all. They can't even get women to talk with them. I think that's one of the things I don't think women understand about men is women have never experienced what it's like to have nobody at all interested in them. Any woman will have somebody, even if they don't want that person, somebody interested in them. They don't know what it's like for a man to have zero women into them. It's a very dark place to be for a lot of guys. So it absolutely matters because it's to be able to connect with the other sex is almost like borderline like a human right to be able to do that. But if guys feel like they're locked out of that ability, it tortures them. And they have to learn it. There's no, I mean, why do you think people are so addicted to OnlyFans when porn is free? It's because they're so desperate for just a little bit of female interaction that they don't know how to get. It absolutely matters to them.
Yeah, it's they're starving for the human connection. That's a huge part. It's like they're starving for the human connection of it.
Well, and I would argue, I've said this before in different things, that for a man to really have an inner sense of self-confidence and peace, there are three things that the mammalian brain needs to know you can solve for yourself. So this goes down to instincts. Now, one of them is being able to mate and have mate value. So knowing that you could get a girl interested in you and that you could have a girlfriend, or have somebody want to have sex with you, right? Whether or not you're trying to do that right now or not, whether it doesn't really matter, but you have to know that your ability to have mate value is there because our primal drive is to spread and procreate and propagate the species. That's before survival. Men will, go into danger, put their life on the line for the opportunity to mate, right? And so men will do that. And I have somebody who's not necessarily the opportunity to mate, thinking of it in that way consciously, but unconsciously, it's something we as men do. We'll put ourselves in sacrificing situations just for more mate opportunities. So that's a primal drive. If a guy, and historically leading into today, most men are actually pushed out of having those options. Most, historically speaking, we're a product of 40% of men who've mated and had children. And if you look at the stats now, the lower 60% of men don't have a lot of mate options. 30% are outright incels. So a third of men right now are outright involuntary celibates one way or the other. And so they're not, it's okay if a guy's like, hey dude, I'm 55 years old, I'm MGTOW, I'm going to go in my hunting lodge, I don't care. And he's had a series of women in his life and he knows he could go get laid if he wanted to. There's an inner sense of self-confidence maybe that guy has. But some 24-year-old who has no social proof to himself or anything of any kind of mate value, has no interest from girls, and doesn't even know how to generate that, you know, that guy is never going to feel an inner sense of peace or self-confidence. Now, the other two things, one is survivability and resources and capability. That doesn't mean necessarily being rich, but, you know, you'll notice, like,
can you survive?
Can a guy can he change a tire? You know what I mean? Can he, if the power goes out for 3 days, is he going to be a crying ball of shit, or is he going to, you know, have some way of figuring out that problem? Somebody who's resourceful and survivable. And why I'm always glad like Jon Fitch is around doing his thing, because the third thing is lethality. A dude has to know that he could be lethal if he had to be. He doesn't need to be the best fighter in the room, but he needs to know that he's not a walking victim. Right. And these are things that your mammalian brain needs in order to have a sense of confidence and peace. And I always refer to that story where I went to like this high level get together with a lot of guys with a lot of net worth and status and people in politics. And those guys, some of those guys were very weak and very had self-esteem issues. We're talking billionaires with self-esteem issues.
They're fidgety.
Right. And they lacked lethality. That was what I boiled it down to. They were walking victims. So they were trying to compete with somebody like, oh, he closed some, you know, he got a few cases or closed some deals last year. Like, well, like, but he's this, he's that. Like they were competing in a negative way. And it came across as lacking a lot of confidence. And it showed, and people reacted to that. You know, there was a lack of inner peace that they could
100%.
have.
You can choose to do what you want to with your life, but you're programmed. Your biological robot, your meat robot, is programmed to survive and reproduce.
Yes.
So you have all of these systems in place to make you want those things, and if you don't get those things, you don't feel good. You get anxious. You get scared. You get worried about shit. You get fidgety, because if you're weak and you can't defend yourself, you internally, you know that. You know you're screwed. If somebody decides to take something from you, they're taking it. If they want to kill you with the bare hands, they're going to do it. And you know that in your core. Same thing if you can't get ass. If you can't find a girl and get her to like you, that's a problem. That's a huge problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, Apex. Apex, we got beef, bro. You going to Illuminati parties and they ain't invited me? The next time I'm gonna come.
Bro, if they finally invite me, you know I'm inviting you.
I want to come to the Illuminati parties too, man.
I crashed the Illuminati party, bro. I had
they need a bull.
I had a girl that took me to the thing.
Oh man. John, you stepped away for a moment, but I want to tag you in here. So John, is it okay because we talked about, you know, what you went through during your UFC career? Like, I mean, is it okay if I mention about the shit you went through with your ex? Is that okay?
Yeah. I've talked about it plenty.
Because it blows my mind. Because you're one of the fucking greatest welterweights of all time, and you were training for your title fight, and you were dealing with the worst woman ever. Like you had to fucking go. You're telling me you were changing diapers in between rounds, like taking care of your kids.
That was when I fought Zaffarino for the WSOF title. Like it was 2016. But yeah, like I was taking the kids to like my morning lift. I would go and lift in the morning, and then pick the kids up and go teach a class, and then I had my noon training. And, after a few weeks of this routine that I just kind of started, I started noticing like the kids were just like sitting in front of the TV the whole time. So I was like, you know what? I'll take them to the place I lift because they got a kids program, whatever. So they got dropped off and could play. But like their mom was just at home scrolling Instagram. There was no reason for them to have to do that. But yeah, so I just kind of sucked it up, and you know, they were at the gym with me while I'm trying to train. So if one of them had to go to the bathroom, like I had to go, you know, they were so young, I had to go and take them into the bathroom and change a diaper and get back to work. That's what it was. I'm sitting there like sweating on my kid, wiping his ass. But that's just what had to happen.
Yeah, man. Just totally unreal to just hear that. Like you're literally fighting for a title and like your woman would not even assist you.
Girls
in-
are wild, man. Women are wild. They'll be like, "Oh, well, you like doing that." So that doesn't count as a job.
That's just crazy.
It's
So
nuts. It's like, I don't like doing laundry and the dishes, but you like your training. So it's not fair.
what about the question? Does success with women matter? Should a guy understand and have a general wherewithal about the whole man and woman relationship? Should they understand these things?
Like I said, it's a part of who we are, our biological selves. Like it's a fundamental thing we need to have. It's like, I want to be a wrestler, but I'm not going to bother learning how to sprawl. It's just not, you're missing it. You're missing the mark. And anybody who says, well, I just choose, I don't want those things, you're lying to yourself or you're broken. That's literally like the two things we are designed to do: survive and reproduce. That's it. So if you are completely negating and neglecting one aspect of that, you are incomplete. Completely incomplete. But I got a Lambo, bro.
That's all those crypto dudes getting drugged and robbed by fucking chicks in Colombia and Miami and everything, you know, because they think like, I think that's a big foolish thing. Like a lot of guys think is like, they just think like, oh, well, if as long as I have money, if I have money, then that's the only thing that matters. I just have money and then I can get the girl. And what that does, it just makes you a bigger target. It makes you a more juicy kill for the predatorial women out there. Now, am I saying all women are predatorial out there? No, but there are chat groups. There are groups of women that are, you know, they are collecting data and they are exchanging how to manipulate a man, how to get pregnant by a dude, how to, like, you know, finesse, and they're finessing the government. You know, they're making the fucking government look like a bunch of goddamn fools, more so than they already are. And you know, they're running circles around the average guy, and this is happening, and it's to the detriment of the average man. And I'm trying to understand, like, where did this malicious behavior come from? Like what stemmed this? What was the cause of this? You know what I mean?
Decades of turning men into villains.
Afi, go ahead.
Let me ask something real quick about the traveling stuff. If you guys travel abroad and stuff, and you know, babies just started, it's cool and the women are cool over there. But I will be honest with you, you're not getting the real vibe, because the internet and the rise of Instagram changed this shit. And the women, they know the game now. Like maybe 5 years ago, you were for real, but now, like, put it like this. Women in Colombia know what passport bros is. So that just says it right there. They actually know what it is. But before, you just go over there, you just like, you know what I mean? So women kind of just know the game. They know what guys, they know what we're trying to do, whether we're trying to sleep or find a wife. They know that, so they play on it. Before that, it was different. So that's one thing I want to say, because the internet, it just kind of put women on game. You know what I mean? Like, what women who watch dating content didn't know what we be talking about and shit. See, before that wasn't no option. So just trust me, the women abroad are not stupid, and they're, like Jonathan said, that's what triggered it. They got group chats and shit, bro. They're not just like, oh my God, American. That's old. That's the old.
Yeah.
They know what time it is now, bro.
Yeah.
Right. And they'll take advantage of it in different ways. And if you don't have game with women, you're gonna get eaten alive. It's great, by the way. I think it's a great option for dudes to be able to travel the world and meet different women, especially because culturally, women in certain parts of the world are a lot more pleasant to be around than some places in the United States or Canada. And that's a fact. That is a fact, undeniably. But if you are a dork with no game, you know, you're gonna get eaten alive, dude. Like Afi's 100% right. They know what to do, and they will capitalize on you, take your money, drug you. You'll find yourself in a big problem, you know?
Yeah. And I think, like, as all trends on the internet, like, Columbia's played out. Columbia was cool in 2015, 2016, 2014, 2012, 2013.
I'm an
But
old
now,
soul though, and I'm still stuck on the idea, man.
say that again. What's that?
I'm an old soul. I'm still stuck on the idea. Could be the
Nah,
booties. I don't know.
I mean, I don't know. For me, it's too ratchet. It's too, I don't know. I went to Columbia for business reasons, and I didn't want to. I went back and I was just like, this is just not it. I'm not, like, what am I going to be? Like, why am I here in this fucking, no offense, but this third world shithole? Like, why am I here? Like,
Jonathan, the submission be too over the top for a real player too. So it's like, if you don't have no game and you're not really successful with women, that's gonna blow your mind. But if you're used to women being on you, this shit is a little annoying. Like, bitch, excuse me, why you calling me Poppy? I just met you. You know what I'm saying? Like, we just literally met.
Oh,
It's
if
too
you're-
extreme.
It's a little fake, right?
Yeah, it's like fake. You can't even like feel like the man. Like, yeah, you just.
Have you been to the Thailand and seen the bar
Yeah,
girls
I've been to
and
Thailand.
Rapungi? Like it's nuts. Like it's annoying. There's like you just walk down the street and they're like, hey boy, like calling you in from everywhere, like
Pulling you and shit.
yeah.
Yeah, but they're practically prostitutes, right? So it's not as fun.
Yeah, you can find good girls. I mean, I was just in Thailand. I was in Thailand like 3 weeks ago, and then I was in Thailand again in August. And there are good women in the world. I want to stress that. I really want to stress that.
out there.
And I think like all of us here have gone through, with the exception of Jordan, maybe all of us have gone through dealing with a really bad woman. And I think that kind of like made us just look at life a little bit differently, look at the whole situation a little bit differently. And I think because the way we see things too, man, honestly, dude, the dudes are just in bad shape out there, bro. I mean, I was talking about, I did an episode yesterday on like why you shouldn't move to Miami, why Miami's a shithole. Afi, do you like Miami? Yeah.
Hell no, bro. I hate Miami, bro. When we met up in Miami, I stayed in Fort Lauderdale, and I couldn't wait to get back to my room with the pool and the slide, bro. All of them, especially South Beach, is disgusting.
Can you elaborate on that? Because people thought I was just being salty yesterday on my show, saying don't go to Miami.
Bro, like I feel sorry for the people who live in Miami and think that it's kind of like New York.
There's a lot of ratchet stuff.
And that's all, all women are not like that. They're all not like prostitutes for hire. Even if they're not, even if you go to Miami and it's not a prostitute, she's still got a price though, because it's that type of vibe.
Yeah. Well, and you guys are better at vetting that stuff than I am, because like I lived out of a bag and a rucksack in a third world country for periods of my life, so to me, like anywhere is nice. And then I kind of like make the best. Like I live in Michigan, Detroit area. It's no place anybody wants to move to, but I love it. Like I make the best out of wherever I'm at. So when I'm in Miami, I'm like, this is cool. I'm having a great time. But you guys are, you know what I mean? But you guys are absolutely right. It's pretty ratchet down there. The competition is a fake competition on status that they don't have. And it's a lot of bullshit. Yeah. There's a lot of better places, dude. There's a lot of better places to go for sure.
Yeah.
And that's shit.
What's that?
It's expensive as shit too.
That part I don't like. Yeah, unnecessarily expensive. It's not like I don't mind spending money if it makes sense, but some of it's just stupid.
I mean, look, and that's the thing. Like I told guys too, like, people tell me this, and Afi and Paul, I want you guys' opinion on specifically. Okay. People are telling me like, you got to get out there and you got to compete for women. Like you got to compete for these girls. Like you got to compete for their attention. And my philosophy is very simple. I'm not competing for shit. No. Like if you like me, you like me. I'm not going to try and win you over. I mean, if you don't like me, I am a grown man. I can take rejection, and I will go and do what I've done my entire life. I will find another woman that's interested in me. I don't believe in this competing and like, because some girl was on whatever podcast yesterday, some fucking girl who escaped from Colombia, got a little bit of pride because she lives in Miami and dudes are paying for her bills and shit. Now she thinks she knows something. But she was saying like, oh, you got to like date multiple guys at the same time because, men like to compete and stuff. And I was just like, this girl is so fucking retarded. Like, no, I do not want to compete for you. If you think like going out and entertaining another guy is your better option, please just be upfront about it and kindly get out of my life so I can move on. That's
Right.
it. I don't believe in this whole competing thing. Afi?
I wouldn't compete for a woman if you took my dogs and held them for ransom. Yeah, John even laughed. Now you know you good. Hell no. What I look like a goddamn hell no. I mean, if you are a feminist in this chat, leave now because I'm gonna say some misogynist ass shit. I'm better than every woman I interact with because any woman who I interact with is gonna get better because of me.
Yes.
I know that I have that skill. So
Yes.
if a woman is doing better than me, I'm smart enough to know 9 times out of 10 it's the cat who she fuck with who put her in position, bro.
Mhm.
There's women out here who got degrees that don't know how to pay bills correctly, bro.
Mhm.
I ain't competing for shit, bro. I like the women who like me. You know what I'm saying? What I look like a goddamn fencer or some shit. Like this is Princess Bride over the princess. Fuck no.
Paul, your thoughts. Competing for a woman. Like, do you need to compete? Do you need to win her over?
No. It's when a girl gets with me, it's like, and you could say the same thing probably about everybody on this panel right now. A lot of guys in the chat, not the majority, but certainly 10% probably, which is if a girl gets with me, she's winning the lottery. And I don't mean just financially, but in every category. She's winning the dude lottery. It's just a matter of if she's attracted enough to want to go on a date with me or not. You know what I'm saying? Like it shouldn't even have to see me as, I mean, I look kind of like the Thing from Fantastic Four right now. I am not a Calvin Klein model, and it doesn't matter. My girlfriend is like freaking very good looking, like very good looking. She's so good looking that people hate it. Like it brings out like anger in people that like dudes and women, like, you know, when they see a picture of us, that's how good looking she is because I'm a, you know, this kind of muscly, bald headed older guy. You know what I'm saying? And so, but she thinks I'm attractive and she thought I was attractive enough to end up on a date with me. And because of game, because of who I am and how I can make a girl feel, she's in it. She's in it 100%. And that's how it is. If a girl thinks about every block she could possibly check, she's getting that if she gets in it with me. And if I let her get that far, you know what I'm saying? And that's the same thing to be said for all of you guys. And it's because I work on myself. I work on my communication skills. I know how to make a girl feel good. I know how to put it down in the bedroom. I make decent amount, you know, for a living, right? I mean, I have all the blocks checked, dude. Like there is no block to check. Now, if she's into like, you know, 6'5" Asian men, I don't know, whatever, that's her thing. I'm not a 6'5" Asian man. So maybe she's not going to go for me and that's okay. So why am I going to try to prove myself to that girl? Around the corner, there's another girl who's been fantasizing about a bald dude with muscles who's going to make her, you know, wonder about her life decisions later in the bedroom. That's their fantasy. That's what they want. That's the archetype. You know what I'm saying? And that's fine. And she's going to be great, good looking. She'll have a lot of things going for her and it'll be fine. So when you work on yourself and you have all your shit in order, particularly your inner game, you're not riddled with insecurities and riddled with issues and social problems and all that stuff. It is winning the lottery for these girls because these girls have a rough time, dude, in the dating market. They really do. These guys today do not know how to talk to women, man. They don't know how to talk to them. They don't know how to make them feel good on a date. They don't know what they're doing.
I think a lot of women don't get I think a lot of women don't get the empathy that they do deserve because like I met a girl that like and I'm not trying to like be no fucking simp or some shit, but I met a girl who's like objectively a fucking 10. This girl's fucking gorgeous. And then, you know, we were hanging out or whatever, and we were talking about all her dating experiences, and it was just like nightmare after nightmare after nightmare. And so I was just like, I totally get why you're jaded. Like, you know, I totally get it because there are a lot of fucking fucked up weird dudes out there. There are tons of
and it's constant. And the prettier they are, the weirder the guys get. I mean, like, so My girl went to a Walmart yesterday, dude.
Mhm.
Had some dude who worked there. I guess he was working. She's not even sure. She's just minding her business. She had to pick up a few little things at a Walmart, right? Random thing, right? And this dude runs her down, chases her down, goes, "Excuse me, miss. We need to look in your bag." Like he works there. And she's like, first, like, what the hell? You know, is this guy think I'm stealing? Like, why is this guy chasing me down? And then he goes, "Because we need to put this in it." And he pulls around from behind his back a flower, like a plant, like a plant flower he bought. He goes, you need to put this in it because yours just so beautiful. You shouldn't walk out of here without flowers. She is like, you know, like just it's so cringy. You know what I mean? And then her first comment was like, and I wasn't there, by the way. She's telling me about it. She goes, Did you pay for that? Did you buy that? Like she thought the dude like stole it and ran out. And she's like, he's like, yeah, I bought it for you, you know. And she goes, "Oh, okay." And she, I don't even, you know, she just was so uncomfortable because of the guy's body language, the guy's present, everything about the guy. And of course, you know, he was one of those dudes like kind of following her, but not following her in the store. You know, girls notice that shit. You guys listening that are fucking weird. You weird guys who need to take some of these courses and pick up some of these guys' books down here and start learning shit. You need to learn shit because these girls know when you're weird and it comes off as weird and it comes off as, and anyways, a pretty girl, a girl who's really good looking is getting that shit constantly. And that's what she's bombarded with, dude.
Constantly
and then
since
you
she
come
was
in.
13.
Yeah, right. Exactly. She starts, as soon as she starts going through puberty, it's all that shit. And then it's like, to be a normal guy, you're now cutting through all of the bullshit, you know, that everybody else has been, you know, inundating her with this insane amount of simpery, right? You're trying to like step in and be normal. And she's like, I don't know about this motherfucker. Like immediately, you know what I mean? And so it pays off to learn social skills and how to approach and not come across weird, you know, and present yourself in a way that makes a girl, puts a smile on her face, dude. You know, it pays to do that. It pays in dividends because guys don't know how. They just don't today.
Hey, Paul, you got to give me like 6 assists because you didn't give me 1. Now these 2 and 3. Let me say something. I got to unpack 2 things real quick. You said let me go with the later thing. The creepy dudes.
Yeah.
Me growing up, I always grew around guys who knew what the fuck was up. So I didn't really realize how bad guys were at dating until I started coaching, to the point where, like MLD said, I feel sorry for some of the women because I had to start kind of getting the receipts because they would tell me the one-side stories and shit. And then like she did, and then I see the screenshot and I'm like, why the fuck did you say this? Like, what the hell are you talking about? So I'm on the other end of that. So that's the first thing I want to say. The second thing is because we can't just pass that. This is for real shit. What Paul said. You're not every woman's type, and cats don't understand that shit, and you waste a lot of goddamn time trying to do. Just because you think you're a 6-figure guy and you're 6 feet, and you wondering why you gotta take this girl 6, you might not be her type, bro. Let me give myself for an example. I consider myself a nice looking dude, and if you don't, women do, right? You know, I'm a bigger guy, I'm tall. So sometimes I can disqualify myself just for being very authoritative. So it's not always tight as far as looks. Women could be like, oh, he talked too much shit. I can't really run circles around him. Yeah. But I have enough emotional intelligence to be like, all right, she's not my skit. I don't look at it as like, it's a challenge. Like, I don't want a challenge. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes you got a woman's type. I can spit all the game in a woman's ear. She might not like black guys, bro. It's just simple as that. But I'm trying to whip out all 57 of my tricks, and she doesn't like she doesn't even like white guys. She like Asian guys, and I'm wasting all my goddamn time. So realize that just like us, sometimes if you like big ass, I might like big asses. MLD like big titties. It's so you know, so I could be like, she got ass though, Jonathan. She like it. He's like, I like titties. You see,
Alpha, you know me so well. You know me so well. Hey, Trav, long time no see, buddy. What's up, man? But yeah, I think, and I think, okay, like I'll talk about what happened to me the other day, right? So I work out at there's a Anytime Fitness over in my area to work out, right? And I saw this girl's fucking beautiful girl, gorgeous girl, long hair, great body, right? And I just said hi to her in the gym, and she was real friendly and whatever. And we just chatted for briefly, right? Speaking in Japanese. And then there's a Gold's gym that I went to the other day, and it turns out this girl worked there, right? And I was just like, oh, well, it's the girl from the gym. And like, I tried to say hi to her and she was working, straight up ignored me. Didn't even fucking acknowledge my presence. Right. And it's kind of like opposite. Like, so like I'm out here, like I'm a black guy in Japan. Like, it's like, there's the whole 99% Asian population. And then there's me. And I got flat out rejected. And did it hurt? Yeah, for a moment I was like, damn, this bitch is like dehumanizing me. Like, don't even acknowledge my fucking presence, But that's just understanding part of game. That's just understanding success with women. If you watch the fucking trash that's on TVs, you watch the trash that's on movies, you think like, oh, I need to win her over. I need to do this. I need to do that. All I know is like, okay, cool. So this bitch obviously is just a fucking rude cunt first and foremost, right? So it don't matter how pretty she is. That's a symptom of something uglier going on inside of her. And B, hey, it is what it is. I got rejected. That's just being a man because, game teaches you like, if you really want to know the raw of game, like rejection is the game. Like you got to just go and get rejected a fuckload of times because it doesn't matter who you are. Okay. Unless you're a celebrity, literally, unless you're a celebrity. Other than that, the average guy is going to be getting so many more rejections than getting actual yeses from women because that's just the game. And a lot of guys don't realize that. I think a lot of guys, like I just ran the Passport Pro program here in Tokyo, right? And we had the guys go out there and do some cold approach. And what a lot of these guys didn't realize is how much you're going to get rejected. We say like the average conversion rate for the average guy, you're looking at one out of 150. If you're lucky, like 1 out of 150 approaches, a girl's going to say yes, right? And that's yes that leads to sex. Other girls will say yes, so waste your time. They'll fucking follow me on Instagram, do this, do that, yada, yada, yada. But I think the average guy, by not taking action and thinking like, oh, like in their mind, they're like, I'll take action at this date. And then like in 3 to 6 months, I'll figure it out. And then everything's going to be okay. And I'm sorry, that's just not the way the world works. That's just not the way it works. Can you get out there and get lucky? Yeah, but I'm not trying to fucking base my life upon luck. I'm trying to base my life upon, raw data. And that's the fact of the matter. But I just think right now it's like, and that's why I was in the commercial. Like I kind of like, was joking a little bit, like putting the shit out there, like getting online and looking for help, like sun your balls, like rub yourself with this fucking pheromone soap. Like, oh, just become a crypto millionaire. And then all the women will come to you. And that dude just got fucking finesse $100,000 sending that girl $100,000 on her OnlyFans. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it's just, it's, the climate right now, especially in the United States of America, and I'm not trying to be black pill about it, but I'm just saying, like, objectively speaking, this is a skill set you need to learn. You need to make it happen. And that's why, like I say, I have it on my wall, Money Muscles Game Frame, right? We got the holiday edition here, but Money Muscles Game Frame, like that's just the only way to navigate through this life. And this is not because women are the enemy or all women are whores or any whatever narrative they're trying to paint right now. But what it is we have a culture in the West, in the Western society, that has mainstreamed demonizing men. And the reason they do that is for the financial benefit of the companies and or organizations that are doing it. And women are the ones that are suffering. Like feminism was made for the betterment of women. And I could argue that right now, women if you take like the mass majority of women, especially in the United States of America, they're at an all-time low. I think women have never been in a worse position in human history right now.
And let me add this, and I'm talking to the chat right now. I'm gonna tell y'all about an L, and I'm gonna teach y'all a lesson. Press 1 if you want me to tell you about the L, because this shit is all about the mindset. I'm gonna wait for some ones, and I'm gonna tell you guys this. So this is the fact. Sometimes, bro, the women, their egos are so far up their ass that rejecting you is actually doing you a favor and you don't even know. Because if you would have gotten her, she would have did some weird, stupid shit later on in the back end, biting her ass, and now you heartbroke over a woman that you weren't supposed to be fucking with no way. Let me give you an example. So boom. So y'all know I'm the book guy. I sell a lot of books. I'm popular, right? People collect my shit. So I seen a girl on the airplane. So she was the stewardess. She was the airplane stewardess. So after you fly, then they sit back in the cut. So she's sitting back and she's reading a book on her fucking tablet. So I say, boom. See, this is the thing. When you are a for real YouTuber or whatever you want to be, I consider myself a brand, right? So I'm promoting my brand. Pussy come on the back end. Brand first, booty second, right? So I see the girl. She's attractive, but I literally wasn't not thinking about her like that. Maybe if she would have, been all in my face, then I would have elaborated more. So the point is, so I said, hey, I see you like books. What you reading? She told me what she was reading. And then I say, hey, I'm an author. I can send you a free book. You can check my shit out. She's like, no, thank you. Now, in my mind, I know she's thinking, look at this guy trying to use that to talk to me. In reality, no, this is actually for real. I just wanted to give you a book so you can read it, like it, share it with your friends, and get more shit. See what I'm saying? So I'm looking at her like, you're fucking stupid. Whatever. Yeah. I don't look at her like, oh man, let me tell you, let me show, like, fuck you. I don't even want you looking, reading my shit no ways. Her little vibe threw me off. Like, yeah. Because if she was smart, we're on a goddamn plane. She could have just said yeah and just let me do it moving. You know what I'm saying? She didn't have to like flex, like, oh no, thank you. She could have just been like, me. It's just like when I walk down the street, the Jehovah's Witness give me the fucking shit. I'm gonna toss it, but I'm not gonna toss it in their face though. I'm gonna still take it. Oh yeah, for sure. And then when I get around, I'm gonna throw that shit. Same thing. If I say I'm an author, you can just, oh, for real, that's interesting. Let me see. She's like, oh no, thank you. Like, I didn't offer you my phone number, bitch. I got a girl. You know what I mean? So so that's what I'm saying. The egos. So a lot of times you get rejected. Don't go home and cry, and don't go home and think, oh, what can I do to change? Nothing, bro. She wasn't for you.
Yeah.
I feel like this. I didn't like her attitude. If she would have changed it up, she would have already been disqualified. I don't like that type of shit. You feel me?
Well,
yeah, I want to add to that too, because I think that's one thing I've been talking about to a lot of guys lately in general is like, I think a lot of guys now, no, don't get me wrong. Statistically speaking, if you haven't received any coaching and or training, you probably are doing something wrong. But I think a lot of guys, they over personalize the rejection.
Oh, for sure.
They take the rejection to their core. I know, because I've done this before. And the reality is like there could be a million things going on. Her dog could have just died. She could be broke. She could just find out she had fucking AIDS. There's like there's a million things that are going on.
Generally, it's AIDS. That's what I think. If they reject me,
usually that's the pandemic.
Or they're lesbian. I'm just kidding.
But, the thing is, like, I noticed that this is what guys will do, right? They will sit down, they'll buy like a bunch of courses, they'll read a bunch of books, they'll still like, I just need to study, I need to study, because they expect to go out and have 100% success ratio. And they'll go out and they'll talk to one girl and they'll go on Reddit and write like a 10-page field report. It's like, my dick was aligned 7 centimeters to the left in my pants, and I was wearing this much cologne, and I had these earrings, and I brushed my teeth at 7:42 p.m. And like they'll have this whole fucking report. It's just like, dude, you talked to one girl and you got rejected, and you're having a meltdown. And it doesn't work like that. That's just not how the game works. You got to get out there. It's volume. That's everything in life is massive amounts of work. But I don't think
even the best salespeople in the world still need to do enough numbers.
By the way, say one at a time. Go ahead, Jordan.
Go ahead, Jordan.
I said I feel personally attacked for my first Facebook post in your group.
It's all part of learning progress. Go ahead, Paul.
Yeah, I was going to say even the best salespeople in the world have to have numbers on the board, because not everybody's going to be a buyer. But and the other thing is, this is kind of a point I was making earlier. It's like Briffault's law. You never want to forget Briffault's law, and so what suggests, what that suggests is that in relationships or any association, right, between men and women, the woman determines the terms of the relationship, and that any association between the man and the woman will only occur if the woman derives some sort of benefit from the association. So what does that mean? It means that in mating, and they observe this in the animal kingdom, because women have the eggs, right? they're the ones that have the baby. They're determining what the benefit is from an association from a guy, whether it's friendship, whether it's rejection for clout, you know what I mean? Whether it's boyfriend material, whether it's sex. Women are very pragmatic when they make their decisions for mating, and that includes rejection. Girls will reject guys who are better than they are when they don't think they don't have the confidence in themselves to get the outcomes they want. They'll reject a dude in order to make themselves look more valuable to other lower prospects. They don't even know they're doing it. It's a hindbrain thing. Think about like a group of 3 girls, and the least attractive one ends up being like the cock blocker. You know what I'm saying? Oh, who's this guy think he is? She's the one with the bad attitude. Why do you think that happens so often? It happens because she knows she will not get picked by this guy who's approaching this, a group of girls, or in the social circles. That guy's going to pick one of her friends. And so she's left out of the mix. So she wants to pre-reject that guy in order to make herself seem of higher mate value to other prospects. And so rejection, like John said, is an intricate thing and things going on in her head. And it's not always about you. And one final kind of point is, like, I coach a lot of dudes on this stuff, and I can always tell when a guy's turning the corner from doing pretty bad with women, or where I'd say not doing well, to doing well. Is he starts off, when he's not doing well, he's always giving these field reports and focused on these rejections. He's like, well, so I approached this girl and here's how she rejected me. And it's like those Reddit posts, that John was talking about. When a guy turns the corner, he's talking about, okay, so I got this girl's, we exchanged Instagram. I got her number, I want to set something up for that, for next week. We kind of have something set up for a Friday. So coach me through what's to happen next. He's focused on the ones that are successes and potential going forward or whatever. He's not focused on the L's. He already talked to 15, 20, 50 other L's, but he didn't care about those. Those are not in his focus. His focus is on the couple girls that he's looking at dating right now. You know what I'm saying? That's how I know a guy's turned the corner from scarcity to abundance, and he's starting to do well, is when he's talking about the wins. And then I'll ask usually a guy in that situation, what about the girls that didn't go for you, that rejected you? Do you think about those or anything about those? He goes, well, oh yeah, there are a few, but I don't even it's just like, he does not even thinking about it. It's not in his reticular activating system of his brain or his attention. His attention is focused on the success. And so that's a big difference in a mindset shift for guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I think that just the whole situation of like masculine self-improvement and being able to choose a good woman is just really overlooked. I mean, the average American woman, in my opinion, can be summed up with like my opinion. But I think a lot of guys too don't realize how many women you're gonna have to reject to get to where you want. John, I want to ask you something about this. At the peak of like your fame and the peak of your career, when you were like, you were everywhere, you were fighting GSP, you were you were beating everybody's fucking ass. What was it like? Like, looking back on the past now, were a lot of predatorial women after you? Like, could you see a bunch of like women that are after you for that? You're muted, buddy.
There were definitely a lot of predatorial women around in the clubs, after parties, looking for young fighters, looking to be in the scene, whatever. Yeah. I didn't get too deep into a lot of that stuff though, because I was in a committed relationship. I dated my ex for 7.5 years, and then we were married for 7.5 years. So it was a 15-year relationship. So from just getting into the UFC through all the way, the majority of my career, I was with somebody, so I witnessed a lot of guys use the power of social media, being able to just tweet out like, I'm going to be at this club later tonight, and then girls would just show up. Like, it wasn't unheard of thing for guys to do in the early days of social media.
Yeah, because I just see, because one thing I always said, and are you familiar with Cody Garbrandt?
Yep.
And I saw when he got, did you see his wife when she was like on the embedded, like telling him what to do and shit? Like I
didn't see a lot of that, but it is a huge dynamic getting with the wrong woman when you're fighting. There's an old classic movie called The Smashing Machine. It's about Mark Kerr, and you'll see a huge dynamic between it was an abusive relationship, really. She would get shitty and be in a bad mood and give him attitude because he was ignoring her because he had to go train and get ready for a fight. Like, it was bad.
Dude, it really is.
She was hella, I think, a drunk too through the whole thing.
It's just really, I don't understand. Like, I mean, what has happened? Like, have guys always been this pathetic?
I think so. On some level, guys have been paired off and been told to submit, and you have to serve, and it's put on the guy's shoulders for a lot of history. I don't think this is uncommon. You look back to old Caesars and people like craving after some mediocre chick and sacrificing everything for them.
I'll say as well, like I think it's a problem of role models. Like I was saying, if you don't have any, that's part of the thing that Jon's community really provided, I think, for just not only me, but a lot of other guys, is just they need to understand that this stuff kind of even exists, like positive relations between men and women can exist. A game can you can have game without coming across creepy. Like the example Paul was given, it's like that's a guy who probably had no role model of how to actually talk to girls. Like that's and then the next part of that is like when they do finally get like one girl who actually gives them a little bit of attention, they'll get attached to her immediately. And if a guy has never, I was lucky enough in high school to experience like genuine burning desire from a chick at an early age. And so even if I was still struggling, I knew that I knew that it could be that good. So I knew that I never wanted to accept a standard that was less than that. I might not have had the skills to get it, but I at least knew that was possible. But if you're a guy who has had almost never experienced that, and you get a little bit from a woman, you'll think that that's the best in the world. So back to Jon had earlier questions, like why are guys in
pussy whip's it's an old phrase, like we didn't make up pussy grade.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's always been there, but I think that things have gotten more extreme with you.
More prevalent. It's been a snowball rolling downhill.
Yeah.
The ego of the women has went up. But my man JFK in the chat, shout out to you. I see you, player. He said it just like that. A lot of women, they get the social media just for the validation. You're mad and shit because she left you on red. She ain't on there to find potential mate or sex. She just want to be like, oh, look at it's like the dopamine notifications is going off and shit, and that makes her feel fucking good, and that's it.
There's a lot of women.
I want to hook up, maybe. No, she don't want to hook up at all. She just had a bad day. And her boyfriend pissed her off. She still got the social media. She never took it off. She then boom, put it up on there. Blah 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 blah. Like MLD, you know it too. Like even like bro, like and I even because you went viral hella times. I went viral a few times on memes and Instagram and shit, bro. And that shit is not fun. That shit it literally is like every second, bro. And that's how the women dating apps be, bro. So they're not attentive to the shit that you're saying, bro, because they're not there to like try to vibe with you and shit. So just understand that. So that's important.
You got to know what's out there. You got to know what's out there. It's just there can be things that are, there are a number of ways you can ruin your life by getting saddled up with a bad woman. And again, it's not to like, I want to make it very, very clear. Like, this is not to demonize women or anything like that, but we do have to, like, if you just look at the bell curve and understand that 50% of people are 100 IQ or lower. I don't want some 100 IQ retard woman in my life. A
No,
lot,
you
like,
don't.
this is gonna, so this is not, this is gonna, like, this is, it is what it is. Not everybody is gonna get a happy ending. Not everybody deserves to be married. Not everybody deserves to reproduce. I'm sorry, but we live, the human race is a meritocracy. And if we keep on giving gold medals to fucking retards, we're gonna have a problem on our hands. And like,
We already do.
we already do have a problem on our hands, quite frankly, you know, because we were giving fucking gold medals to retards for the longest time. And it's like, okay, like, this retard has to run the power plant now, and like, society needs electricity. So what's going on here? And I think, you know, because I think another thing is this, and let me ask you, Afi, I want to ask you this because I know you're in the game too. In my opinion, right? So recently I just made I made a really good Bumble account here in Tokyo, and I got like 100+ matches, right? And it was really nice to just, you know, get all these matches. And I matched with and I went on a date with a couple like really, really hot girls. And these girls, though, the way they were moving with me, you could tell that they don't deal with guys that tell them no. And these girls are really hot. And I remember one girl like was trying to get me to do something. I was just like, no. And I wrote, no, LOL, you're funny. And she's like, I don't like the way you're talking to me. I don't think we vibe right. And like demonized me because I told her no. Demonized me because I said, no, I don't want to do that. Because I think these really good looking girls, I think they're just getting whatever they fucking want right now. I really think they are.
A lot of them, but I will say this, man, too. When you cut through all that BS and make a real connection with that person, the human side of that girl, provided she's capable of that, because not, you know, some of them are just broken and need some mental health work and they're not capable. But the ones that are capable, they start to see at some point in their 20s, usually, that all of the attention they're getting is smoke and mirrors. And it's really just a lot of bullshit, in that people are telling them what they want to hear and placating to them because of how they look. And they have this power over dudes and people in the sexual marketplace. And they don't like it anymore. You know, they liked it in the beginning, and then they start not having good outcomes in their relationships and dating situations. Then they don't. They realize, like, I can't find anything genuine or real here, because every dude turns into a fucking simp and like just turns into this anything you say because you're pretty type of a dude. And it's like they're just starving for a guy who's real and has the balls to say no. You know what I mean? And to be like real with them, and not to not be afraid to tell them the truth. And if you can be that guy, and so many guys, they talk shit. They'll jump in the chat or they'll jump on their Twitter or whatever and be like, you know, they'll say all the platitudes, all the red pill platitudes, but they get in front of a girl and they're just as bad as anything else. They turn into a weak person who can't stop placating to a girl. And it's like, it's not that you're not kind to a girl. It's not that you're not, you know, empathetic, and it's not that you don't do anything for a woman. You do all the things, but it comes from a genuine place. And you're not afraid to tell her and to be real with her, and because she's pretty or whatever, you know, and that throws you off. And that's so important. On that note, I got to bounce.
Okay. Good. Good to have you on, man. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah.
Afi, are you experiencing that at any point? Like where you tell these girls no, or they like what? Let me tell you another story, right? So this other girl, I met this girl. She was really, really good looking girl. She had a great body, right? And I was like, yeah, we should go hang out sometime, whatever. Let's go do something. And she was like, sure, let's go shopping. I was like, LOL. I was like, yeah, we can go shopping, but I'm not paying for anything. And immediately she started getting started attacking me. Was just like, I don't like the vibe you're giving me. Both these girls independently said that. Like, I don't like the vibe you're giving me. And like, I don't think we're going to match. And I was like, bitch, you asked for my Instagram.
Hey, cool. Bye.
Yeah. But like
later,
they can't handle rejection. They can't handle not getting their thing. Right. Well, what's your experience on this? Off? You're muted, by the way.
Well, I'm an evil guy, right? I get off on rejecting women because I'm doing it for y'all players. I'm doing it for the ones that can't do it. Hey, she left you on red. I'm going to fake lake on her for you. I'm doing it for y'all, so don't trip. So, like, I know how to use the ego against them on the flip side. So, I will like, so they don't like when they when you tell them no, but I would tell them that on purpose. So the girl that you were just talking to, she was shit testing you because a lot of guys, they put the wall down, the authority, because they learned it new. But once it's tested, they can't follow through with it. See, so she put that wall up for you right there. Then you could have just been like, because you want some new ass, right? No, honey, I'm just playing with you. It's all on me. Boom. Because that type of shit works. But you stood your ground. So everybody ain't going to stand their ground. So just like I'm telling you, bro, like, you know, my Instagram is cool. I meet a woman every single day. I'm talking about every single day I meet a woman. But this is the cold part. Women will DM me and then want me to chase them. I'm minding my motherfucking business and shit. Oh, King, you hella funny. I like your post. You know, to the story so they can land right there. I know the game because I do it too. But then it's like a bait and switch. Like, okay, I got your attention. And then so that'll happen. And then a week later, the girl will be like, oh, why haven't you messaged me? Oh, motherfucker, just because we had an exchange don't mean we're dating, bro. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, you know, so it's that ego, bro. Like, they don't like being rejected, but they do like being rejected. So it's a thing. And they don't like it, but they like it. You know what I mean?
Women hate guys they can push around.
Yeah, they do.
So you telling them no, that's like one of the biggest keys to like building attraction. Not giving her the stupid shit she's asking for.
Yeah, and what the thing that like kind of made me like god damn was just like the audacity of this bitch having to ask me that only lets me know some other dude already said yes. In my opinion, that's what I think. Like some dude already said yes.
You got somebody else to do this. And
I got a saying I made about 10, 15 years ago, and I call it "Who Let the Dogs Out?" Because, as you just said, women don't get comfortable trying shit with your ass. It's worked before. I remember I was dating this one chick, and
normalized.
She was like, my ex gave me an allowance. Ooh, I'm thinking this bitch fucking crazy. I ain't about to do it. But she was so bold with it. I said, you know what? Let me play on this. So I'm like, all right, you know, I'm gonna give you 3 points. Once you get to the third point, she was just like, yeah, I want my nails done and my shit done. And then so she would do 2 things, and then it'd be about the third thing. Damn, why you came at me fucked up? Now I'm about to follow through with the shit. So I made it a game and made it a mockery of her demands. So I made it like, damn, I was just about to get them nails done too, but you look how long you took to call me back. Just fucking with her because she was bold enough to say it because somebody did it. She didn't just say, oh, you know what? Let me introduce this new concept of somebody paying my fucking bills on Afi. She's did it before, but it just ain't gonna work on me. But I would troll her about it, like, oh yeah, you about to get it. Oh man, to where she knew I was trolling, and it was just like, so she just started like, okay, this guy's different, and then that's it, you know. No, I didn't give her the allowance, BV. Hell no. But I was tickled by her confidence, though. Her confidence tickled me like, wow, you done went to the next level, right? Can I take you on the movie date, ma'am, madam? Can we do movies and popcorn first? She went straight for the gusto.
Yeah, no, I mean, the audacity is just thrown. But I just think, like, again, like, I just think so many guys are out there doing it. But I don't like.
I always love telling them, like, oh, that's cool. They try to change their plans, or like they bring up a party of their friends where they have to spend money to go somewhere. I'm like, oh, that sounds like fun. Have a good time. They're trying to suggest it that I take them to it. I'm like, oh, it sounds like cool.
Yeah,
have fun. Call me when you're done.
I'll meet you there.
Call me when you're done. I don't even want to go.
Dress up really nice and let's go. I'll meet you there. Yeah, no, looking at it, it's just like, I don't know. I really can't be bothered to even associate with that kind of stuff. Like, because it's, I can't even believe they have the audacity to ask that. And in my opinion, that is representation of a person who is not a good person. That's not like, if you're just gonna like freely extract resources out of someone and use them and not give them anything in return. I just think that is just really representation of what's going on inside that girl. And once her looks fade, she's gonna be, she's gonna be left out in the streets where she belongs.
That's freeloader behavior, man. It's like always expecting everybody else to take care of you.
Yeah.
Want to sleep on your couch, bumming rides for you. Like,
yeah,
no thanks.
And I also noticed that if you've never had an experience, if you've never had a girl like chase you, you've like that feels really good to have a woman like pursue you and chase you. And once you've experienced that, you don't, it doesn't even make sense to go the other direction. It's like, why would I've experienced how good it feels to have a woman want me and desire me and chase me. It's like, once you've experienced that, how do you go back to then the reverse of trying to get a girl to like you and chase it? And that it goes back to the thing about experience I was talking about. It's like, and the role models, like if you don't have role models and see that, oh, I have role models that have women that are approaching, like that are chasing them, that desire them. If you don't even know that exists, because most guys, they experience that they have this, their friends are exactly like them. So they all experience the same experience of having, we're going to all go and chase women. So they don't even know that the idea of having a girl chase them even exists. So it's like, so what are they going to do? And it goes back to, you got to get some coaching to understand that that's not the case.
You just, if you're going to walk into the whole like relationship sphere and get married and stuff and think everything's going to be just sunshine and no problem at all, I mean, you're not living in reality. You have to have a spirit of discernment. Like, you can't just give everybody easy access to you. Not everybody deserves access to you. And so, I mean, just, it is what it is. You know what I mean? I mean, that's just the reality of life. And if you don't learn these things, life will, listen, you're going to learn one way or another. You're going to sit down and learn to do it the hard way, or life is going to teach you. And I think all of us on here, with the exception of Jordan, had to learn the hard way. And it's not fun.
It was pretty hard. I mean, my first girl was fucking her. She broke up with me, and I walked in on them fucking in our studio apartment on her bed. So
did you?
For what it's worth. So
you never told me that.
Yeah, that was how I got. That was my first red pilling moment. Was we were living together in a studio apartment, and he was actually my robotics partner. And like, because I'm an engineer, I was in the robotics team, and we were working together on the same projects. I come in, they're both there on the bed in a little studio apartment.
Jordan, she out of pocket, but don't skip the pack. He's fucked up, bro. Like, I would never fuck that. The pussy is not that. Like, come on, bro. Like, I don't like that type of shit. Like, I don't like. Oh man, when she was naked, what's I supposed to do? Nothing. Walk away. Just because you can do it, don't mean you gotta. Well, she was getting.
Yeah, it's a real sign of weakness, not being able to.
No, I haven't talked to him in years.
I hate that, bro.
He's
sweet shit.
But you know what? It taught me at a young age the reality of dating and some of the harsh realities. And it wasn't like we didn't have kids together. Like, our lease was fortunately almost up, so I only had to deal with living with her for another 2 months, and it got me into Jon's community. So I'm like, do I regret that at all? Absolutely not. It was some great experience, and it got me the girl I'm with today. So you know what? I think more guys should experience that. At least I had an experience. Most guys have no experience, and then they get to 30 or 40 with the one chick they've been with, and they either get divorced, they become a work plow horse, all those adjectives that we use. So, it sucked at the time. Don't get me wrong.
Hey, check this out, Jordan. Let me lace you real quick too, because sometimes it's about the universe and karma, bro. Because one of my friends was sleeping with one of my exes on the low. Now, y'all put a question 2 in the chat. Y'all already know. Y'all know how we got the exes that's still like ours to us, even though, you might broke up with him, but you can still hit anytime, flirt with him, do that kind of stuff. So he was sleeping with the girl. And the thing is, I didn't even care about that part. I cared about the fact that I was seeing them every day. You come to my house drinking beer and shit, you sleeping with my ex, bro, you ain't gonna say nothing. I had to find out from her. But the karma is now they got 6 kids together. He a dope fiend.
So
See
we
that? Have her. You can have her because 20 years down the line, you're gonna have 6 kids with her, and you're gonna be a dope fiend, bro. So he lost and she lost. Have her, bro.
So we lived together, right? And so I knew because we were trading off who was going to stay at the place. She was away some nights, I was there, and other nights because we don't want to sleep, in the same bed, obviously, when we were broken up. So I knew when she was going over to his house. So I'm in robotics that morning. The motherfucker walks in. He has the biggest grin on his face that I'm like, it's the I just got laid this morning face.
He was jealous the whole time, bro. He was jealous.
Absolutely. But like the pay is like the raw, like, God damn, like and the audacity to come in and act around me like nothing just happened. I'm like, that was real raw experience right there. It's a funny story to tell looking back now, but bro, it's like, man.
That's how I found out. Cause I was doing my regular routine. You see your ex, what's up? You still gonna get daddy your shit? What's up with it? You feel me? Like that kind of vibe. And she told me she was pregnant. I'm thinking it's some random new guy she fucking with, not my friend. So she ask your friend. I'm like, ask my friend for what? Why I gotta ask him? Then he told me, and it's like, bro, like, man, I was pissed because it's not like, like sometimes you may say you may have a friend and you're not friends no more, and you come across this girl that they not, you know what I mean? You come across your one of your old buddy's exes, and that might be kind of weird. But I was seeing this cat every day. And you're like, all right, bro, I'm finna go play Nintendo. And you finna go do that. No.
Well, listen, guys, I think it's been a great episode on the comeback of Dude Party. If you're watching on the replay, leave a comment. Tell us what you enjoyed on today's episode. We're going to be back next week. And from every point on out, listen, we're live streaming every day on the show. I'm actually going to be right back. We're going to do a Fresh and Fit companion broadcast where I'm going to watch them live on the After Hours show, giving my take on what's going on with all those crazy girls that go on their show. Until then, we'll see you guys in the next time.